Carter looked conflicted. Sarge, this doesn't add up. He's a doctor, his ID, the hospital's call. Mitchell's jaw was tight, and yet the description matches. Marcus took a step forward. I don't have time for this. That boy will die without me. Carter swallowed hard. Sarge, if we're wrong, a kid loses his life. Mitchell stood frozen, one choice, one moment, and time was slipping away. Mitchell's grip tightened on his belt. His instincts screamed caution, but something about the mother's voice on the phone, the hospital's desperate call, and Carter's pleading gaze made him hesitate. Then another crackle from the radio. Robbery suspect apprehended, not the same vehicle. A heavy silence fell. Mitchell exhaled sharply. Go. Marcus didn't wait. He jumped into his car, tires screeching as he sped off. Carter watched, still gripping the radio. He's gonna make it, right? He muttered. Mitchell didn't answer. At the hospital, alarms blared. The boy's body convulsed, nurses scrambling. His mother screamed his name, tears streaming. Where is he? She sobbed. Then, bursting through the doors, still in his suit, breathless. Marcus, get me gloves, now. He rushed to the operating room, hands steady, mind focused. Hours later, the mother sat, head in her hands. A door opened. Marcus stepped out, exhausted but steady. He made it. Relief flooded the room. But before Marcus could exhale, another voice cut through the air, deep, controlled. Dr. Reynolds. He turned. Mitchell, standing in the hallway, watching him. We need to talk. Marcus wiped his forehead, exhaustion settling into his bones. The child was safe. That was all that mattered. But as he met Mitchell's eyes, he knew the night wasn't over yet. Mitchell stepped closer, his voice lower now. I made a mistake. The words felt heavy, almost foreign coming from him. I should have listened sooner. Marcus studied him, searching for sincerity. Finally, he nodded. A boy almost died because of that delay, he said quietly. Next time, listen first. Mitchell exhaled, his jaw tightening. Yeah, he admitted. Next time. Without another word, he turned and walked away. Outside, the first hints of morning touched the sky. Marcus glanced back at the hospital room, where the boy now slept peacefully. The night had nearly taken everything from him, but in the end he had saved a life. With a deep breath, he stepped into the cool air. It was over. For now. Just when it seemed like the balance of power had settled, something unexpected happened. The woman received an anonymous complaint, one that questioned her leadership and claimed she wasn't qualified for the role. At first, she brushed it off, knowing that challenges came with any position of authority. But as more whispers spread through the office, she realized this wasn't just about her job. Someone was actively trying to undermine her. Her instincts told her exactly where to look. The same man who had once insulted her now seemed unusually quiet, almost too careful. She noticed the way he watched her, the way he spoke just a little too formally when others were around. It was clear. He wasn't just uncomfortable with her promotion. He wanted to prove she didn't deserve it. But what he didn't know was that she had been through worse before, and this time she wasn't backing down. The moment of truth came sooner than expected. A company-wide meeting was called to address concerns about leadership, and all eyes were on the woman. She knew this was her chance, not just to defend herself, but to make it clear that she belonged here. Calm and composed, she laid out her qualifications, her experience, and the results she had already started delivering. The facts spoke for themselves. But just as she finished, a senior executive stepped forward with news no one saw coming. The anonymous complaint. It had been traced back to the very man who had insulted her. His attempt to discredit her had backfired, and now he was the one under scrutiny. The room fell silent as he struggled to explain, but there was nothing left to say. Instead of anger, the woman met his gaze with something unexpected, understanding. This was never about me, she said. It was about your fear of change. And with that, the story came full circle. The room remained silent as the weight of the truth settled in. The man lowered his head, realizing there was no way to undo what he had done. His attempt to hold on to power had only cost him his own credibility. The company took swift action, and he was held accountable for his behavior. As for the woman, she didn't dwell on his downfall. She had a bigger purpose: to lead with integrity and prove that respect isn't given based on appearance, but earned through action. Over time, the office dynamic shifted. Those who once doubted her began to recognize her strength, and even those who had stayed silent before now stood by her side. Her journey hadn't been easy, but it was never about revenge. It was about breaking barriers and showing that real power isn't about control, it's about lifting others up. And in the end, she had done just that.